And it wasn't just mild spankings. I mean, I had grown ass fucking men try to drive me through the wall with a 2x4. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying? I had grown ass. I was a little fucking skinny ass fucking boy, didn't weigh 100 fucking pounds. Had grown ass fucking men haul off and try and take a fucking Babe Ruth swing at my ass. And it wasn't just mild spankings. I mean, I had grown ass fucking men try to drive me through the wall with a 2x4. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
I had grown ass. I was a little fucking skinny ass fucking boy, didn't weigh 100 fucking pounds. Had grown ass fucking men haul off and try and take a fucking Babe Ruth swing at my ass with the equivalent of a fucking 2x6.
I'm Matt Westerholt, and I'm talking with Ronnie Rideout. Is that your actual name, or is that a stage name?
No, that's my actual name.
Oh, okay. And Ronnie, what year did you graduate, or what years did you go attend Bellevue schools?
I was class of 79.
Oh, okay. And we're talking because you're part of a group of people that's talking about abuses that occurred when you were in school, and particularly about the swimming pool at the junior high. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. The boys were, it was a requirement that the boys were not allowed any type of swimming attire at all. None whatsoever of any type. The girls were all given these uniforms, and I think they had to rent them every year and give them back. They were school property, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the girls got some swimsuits, and I was a Boy Scout also, and there were times when this. I guess I read an article for somewhere where like that was pretty an accepted thing then, and they said it was more sanitary because like when I was in the Boy Scouts, we would go there every once in a while to the junior high pool for a Boy Scout night, and there was no school personnel there besides the janitor to let us in.
Uh-huh.
But we were required to swim naked there too. But our scoutmaster was a chomo too, though. So like I really don't know if it was a hygiene thing, or if we were just surrounded by child molesters.
Uh-huh. And were you molested? Is that what you're saying?
Let's just say John Casey tried on several occasions to touch me. I can picture the little weasel looking rat face, but I can't think of his name. He made me and that little boy stand in the shower naked while he stood there and pleasured himself behind the lockers where we could just barely see, like we couldn't see him from the waist down.
I understand.
And tried to touch me on several occasions. There was one incident where he set us out a kind of a free-for-all day on the gym floor. To pair these guys off, or y'all go over here and have your little basketball. And the boys weren't doing what we were instructed to do. And I knew John Casey had a big hard on for me anyway. He didn't like my hillbilly ass. And I wasn't going to get involved over there what the boys were doing, so I stood at the side of the court. And when he turned around to look, Rideout, what are you doing? I said, I'm not doing what they're doing. That's not what you told them to do. No, it's not. Oh, y'all run laps. I ain't running no fucking laps. You're goofy. Now, you run laps or you'll give me every kind of detention, kick me out. I said, fuck you. I grabbed my shit. I went to the locker room, and we lived a block and a half from the school, and I just walked home. I had like second or third period gym. It was still morning,
Mm-hmm.
It was pre-10 a.m. And I just walked my little happy ass home, and I told my dad, I said, John Casey got a hard on for me, and he wants to punish me for shit that I didn't do, and I wasn't going to run the fucking laps. I stood there and did what I was supposed to do. And my dad, you'd have to know my dad. My dad is an old Portsmouth hard ass and don't take shit from nobody. Long story short, he and my mother went to the school, and called John Casey and the principal and the assistant principal guidance counselor in the office. And John Casey was told, "You give my kid any more shit, I'm going to beat you to death right where you stand. Don't give a fuck who you are." And looked at the principal, and our principal was an ex-Navy boxer, and his nose was spread all over his face. And my dad looked at him and said, "And I've heard your reputation too, motherfucker. I'll beat your ass."
What
And
what was your father's name?
Ron Rideout Sr.
Ron Rideout Sr. And and so your dad protected you.
Absolutely. Well, John Casey tried the second time to touch me, and and I right hooked him in the mouth. Nothing was ever said about it. Yeah, wasn't that just convenient?
So John Casey, he was a gym coach,
Yes, sir.
and can you tell me about the first time you realized that he was dangerous? What was going through your mind? How did you perceive him?
Oh, there were, and I know any of my other classmates will tell you the same thing. They probably didn't experience the same thing I did. Maybe some of them did, but they'll all tell you the same thing, that he would pick certain people up and just ride them until, and it wasn't about, like the shit you see in the movies. You're gonna make something. No, he was just trying to fuck with you. Was all he was doing. He got his jollies off on it, and I don't think I'm the only kid that he ever touched or tried to touch. There were weaker children that I think he got away with it.
Do you know whatever happened to John Casey?
No, sir, I do not. I wish I knew where his grave was so I could desecrate it.
And you said there are people talking about a paddle. Talk about that a little bit.
I have it.
So he
I
was
still have it to this day.
and
If
and, and
let me dig it out. Well, here within the next 24 hours or so, I got to dig it out. But I'll send you a picture of it. I still got it. I
okay,
just don't know where I got it stuck at.
if you could send me a picture similar to the way you're holding the guitar.
Yeah,
So what were you paddled by John Casey?
Mr. Westerhold, I was paddled by every teacher from the second grade on. I have chronic back problems and a shattered coccyx, but from being hit with those big boards.
And so you suffered with this all your life
Absolutely, from the second grade on.
from the
I
second
got a
grade.
break. I got a break in the fifth grade. I went to Ellis School through first through fourth grade, and second, third, and fourth grade I was just abused terribly. And I got a break. I got transferred over to the Pike School because we lived right on the edge where you could have went to either.
Uh-huh.
They transferred a couple of kids around to make all the numbers come out right. So like 6 or 7 of us had to go to Pike that year. And I got Mrs. Mason for a fifth grade teacher, and Mrs. Mason and my grandparents were very good friends. And Mrs. Mason was a very kind woman, and I actually got good grades and did very well in school in the fifth grade. Sixth grade, it changed again. It wasn't quite as bad, but once I got to the seventh and eighth and ninth grade, uh, they thought it was open season on the poor little hillbilly kid because his parents would believe anything that you told them. They were those people. They didn't think that the authorities would lie.
Uh-huh.
And they knew that I didn't have any backup. I didn't have any brothers. I didn't have any sisters. Didn't have any cousins. I was an easy target.
Who were the primary abusers?
Uh, my second grade teacher, my third grade teacher, my sixth grade teacher, uh, half a dozen of my seventh, eighth, and all my ninth grade teachers.
And
Uh,
describe the abuse.
uh, Anything that they thought that they could punish you for was an excuse to take you out in the hallway and hit you with one of those big boards.
Mhm, mhm.
And it wasn't just mild spankings. I mean, I had grown ass fucking men try to drive me through the wall with a 2x4. You hear me?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You hear what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
I had growed out. I was a little fucking skinny ass fucking boy, didn't weigh 100 fucking pounds. Had growed ass fucking men haul off and try and take a fucking Babe Ruth swing at my ass with the equivalent of a fucking 2x6.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they hit the right place and sometimes they didn't. They ask you got any bumps, bruises, or boils? Bend over and grab your ankles. I had so much detention in junior high school. If you got 30 minutes today, you had to go serve it today. If you didn't, tomorrow it was 60 minutes. And then the next day it was 90 minutes, and so on and so forth. Well, they figured out a way to give me detention every day, and there was no fucking way I could ever serve it. I'd still be serving detention if I was trying to do it. I'm 55. Well, the only way that they were going to let me move ahead in my classes and go into the next grade is if they would get all that detention out of me. Here's what we'll do. You come in 30 minutes ahead of time before school, and you sit in the auditorium. You sit in the auditorium through your lunchtime, and you sit there for an hour after school. And I guess the state law was they were only allowed to hit you 3 times in any setting. So I'd go in the morning, I'd get knocked through the fucking wall with a big board 3 times, and then I'd sit there on my bruised ass for a half an hour, and then I'd go to class. And then lunchtime would roll around, and instead of having lunch, I'd go to the auditorium, I'd get a grown man to swing a big board at my ass 3 fucking times and sit there on it for a half an hour instead of having my lunch. And then after class, I'd report back to the auditorium, and I'd have another great big grown-ass man swing a big board at me 3 more fucking times. That went on for a month. Up until the John Casey incident to where my father had to come in, and then they were also, won't ever lay another hand on my child. My child has permission to defend himself. And he was taught how.
And when did you steal Casey's paddle?
Last day of 9th grade. And I took his wallet, and I don't give a fuck who knows it. The statute of limitations, 65 years later, I took his wallet. It had $9 in it, and I burned it. I didn't even spend the money. I shit in his file cabinet where he kept his wallet and his shit, and I stole his paddle.
And what was the worst thing that John Casey did to you?
Stand behind a wall and play with his dick while he's watching me take a shower.
And did he do that regularly?
It happened to me on several occasions.
And do you think it happened to other boys as well?
Absolutely, the weaker ones.
And so he would watch
I'm
you
sure it did.
shower, and he would masturbate.
Absolutely.
And you couldn't see his dick, but you knew he was masturbating.
Oh yeah, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And like he tried to touch me. He had me in his office and trying to grab my crotch on 2 different occasions. And like the second time, I told you when I right hooked him in the mouth. And there was nothing ever said about